Welcome to the Time is Ripe podcast. Time is Ripe is a digital journal podcast of Ripe Creatives. Ripe Creatives is a ministry that leverages the arts for the purpose of missions here in Philadelphia and around our region. Time is Ripe is hosted by Ripe Creatives founder Scott Smith and features various guests from within the Ripe community and our extended family. Each episode focuses on a specific experience that our team hosted here in the city or an outside event where someone from our team was booked to perform. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Y'all might have lost your way, but I'm still out here living my purpose. Know that I'm the best to do it when I'm living the service. Once you see light, you understand that sin is whack. Be aware.
What's up, fam? Welcome back to the Time is Ripe podcast. My name is Scott Smith. I'm your host here on the Time is Ripe, the podcast of Ripe Creatives, where we go back and talk about stuff. You already heard this in the intro. Why am I repeating it? I got a few guests here on today's episode. We're going back in time to a date known as Friday, December 12th, 2025. There was a thing called Two Lines Philly. I think we've done a bunch of episodes about Two Lines over the last few seasons, especially.
No.
I think a couple.
No one knows what it is.
You know, just a few. But we're here to wrap up season 4 with the final episode of the season talking about Two Lines. Shout out to the December Two Lines. Apparently it's always a big deal, and we will get into that. To talk about it, we got a few guests in the room. Ironically, we don't have Greg, the founder of Two Lines, on this episode.
Co-founder. Thank you.
Co-founder.
Yeah,
Shout out to Jeff. We also don't have AVG, who's on most poetry episodes with us.
Yeah.
But we do have another couple people that have been a part of Two Lines. But before we get to them, my co-host / guest, Mr. Jarrett Moses.
You.
Top Mop Productions. Bing, bang, boom. Get this guy to do sound for all the things you need sound for. He's a beast, and if you like the way this thing sounds, it's because of him. My other two guests, both a part of Two Lines Philly, which means that they're part of the Ripe community. One of them is an official Ripe artist as a poet. He was the feature of the night. His name is Jake Doggett. Welcome back, Jake Doggett.
Thank you for having me back, Scott. It's always a very fun time to sit on these futons and talk.
Nobody else can see the futons, Jake. They think
It's not always on a futon, Jake.
They
sometimes
think
we're on someone's
in-
couch.
Yeah, sometimes we're in the basement of a church or something.
Sometimes we're at Scott's
When
house.
were you in the basement of a church?
Orland?
We've done like 2 or 3 episodes at Graham's house.
Oh,
In his basement?
in the
In the church
basement of the
basement.
church.
Is it Graham's house or is it a church?
No, the
basement?
church basement.
It's the same property. You need to calm down with your semantics sometimes. I swear.
Just trying to clarify.
Jake's already on one, and we just started. But Jake is not a first-timer, so he doesn't have to give an intro, because you've been on like at least 3 or 4 of these things, I think, at this point. No?
I think 3. It was the one that I did with Rob Morales.
Yep, that was a good one.
And then we did the part 1 and 2 for the Oracles.
For Oracles, so you've been on 3 episodes. Shout out to Jake
Was it
Doggett.
enough? 4? I thought you were on one of the...
No, I got kicked out of that group chat.
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
Jake has a particular schedule because he's a contractor.
I have a normal
Imagine
schedule.
having a 9 to 5. Lame.
Most of us don't have a
40
9 to 5.
hours a week,
Jake
please.
has a
I'd rather
particular
60
schedule
on a
where
weekend.
most
Right.
of the world is working.
Yeah.
He's unable to just bum off and do these podcasts.
Oh, it's going to be a good time today. Our other guest, our final guest, it's so funny because the timing of shooting this episode, we don't know if she's a Ripe artist or not. But maybe she will be, maybe
Don't
she
throw the
won't
shade
be.
right
We
now.
don't know.
It's almost the end of the week.
But she's been invited to be a Ripe artist.
Gosh.
By the time this airs, she'll either be on the website or she won't.
Pause the episode,
so
go
pause
to the
the
website,
episode.
find out for yourself.
Go to ripecreatives.com and find out if this
Build
person's a Ripe
Probably
artist.
I am, okay?
Devyn Dais, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Devyn is a part of the Two Lines Philly team. She does paint, which is why that whole conversation around Ripe artistry is there. But you also have a very significant connection to the other guy on the podcast, Mr. Jake. So, there's that, which has been beautiful to witness and watch.
Yeah.
And it might even come up in this podcast episode because something really funny happened towards the end of this show on December 12th.
Funny wasn't what I was going for.
Yeah.
In that particular
It's
moment.
actually technically amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. We'll get there.
Misleading.
Whatever. I knew where I was.
No one else did.
Nobody knows
I
what we're
did.
talking about right now. Guys.
So get to the point then, Scott.
All right. First off, Two Lines. If you have been around this podcast for any amount of time, you already know what Two Lines is. But very briefly, Jake, what is Two Lines big picture, just for anybody who's never listened to one of the Two Lines episodes before? First time on the podcast, they're here because of Devyn or you, or just because they found out about us yesterday. What is Two Lines Philly?
So yeah, Two Lines Philly is an open mic that was started 4.5 years ago now by Mr. Greg Snow and Mr. Jeffrey Hughes. I quickly joined the team within the first couple of months, as well as AVG. But yeah, it's all just an open mic in Philadelphia that is curated towards poetry and just a really consistent venue in Philadelphia in the poetry scene. That is, I think, probably the thing that people know us for, is that we've been in probably at least 15 different places. If
I thought it was like 11, but it's still a lot.
it's a lot.
It's at least
It's a lot of,
well
yeah.
over 10 for sure,
It's
I guess.
like at least more than 2 places a year on average.
Yep.
Since before we found our seemingly permanent home with the very kind Mr. Moses. But even through all of those different places, I mean, we were in a garage of a church. We were in a coffee shop. We were in a basement under a police headquarters, which I couldn't understand where we were even when we were there. But
Right,
even
free.
through all of that, the consistency of us showing up month after month and putting on the show has really stuck with the city in a really cool way. So much so that we just got actually named the platform of the year for poetry in Philadelphia.
I was about to say, you forgot to say you were an award-winning poetry platform. Thank you.
Yeah, we were named by Link Poetry, who is just a guy who's been doing a lot of work in terms of helping to elevate the status of poetry in general in Philadelphia through work on social media, a lot of different creative endeavors that he's been in. And yeah, that was just a very cool situation, a cool nod, I guess, to us. And he gave us a plaque, like he hand delivered it to us after the show last month, which was really cool. And on it, it said like Two Lines Platform of the Year. And then in quotations, it said like the most consistent. So if I just had anything, I guess the big idea of Two Lines is just a consistently present open mic, and people have just gravitated towards that, and we've built up a lot of great relationships with just the different poets in Philadelphia and abroad, even bigger towards the DMV, even Red Lion down there in Texas, you know. But yeah, that's Two Lines.
Consistency is key.
Yeah, I mean, I will say for the podcast episode listener that has listened to a lot of these episodes and knows about Two Lines, I would just say from the last time we did an episode about Two Lines to now, the growth has been unbelievable. Like this year, 2025, getting that recognition was not out of nowhere. Like it was well deserved. Because of how consistent you guys have been. And it's not just consistent in terms of frequency. It's consistent in terms of energy, like the actual energy in the room, the excitement people have to come to it. It's not a stale space. People are celebrated really well. The level of talent that comes to Two Lines on an open mic side, while at the same time, the welcomeness to first-timer, newbie type people. Yeah. And then your features have been like absolutely phenomenal all year. And it was just beautiful to kind of like see the city take notice is kind of the way that I've watched it kind of unfold. Is like, oh, Two Lines has really stepped up and kind of become one of those, not in a comparative way, but one of the top platforms for poetry in the city, which as a poet personally, I'm at Two Lines pretty much every month. Like if I'm not out of town doing something else, I'm going to be at Two Lines because I want to value it and be here. And this is where I perform personally. Like this is where I show up to share new work and try things out before I take it on the road. So I've been so impressed with you guys. I'm super, super proud of you. One of the things you guys have done that's been super cool is every December you've featured part of the Two Lines crew. So going back to 2023, you featured a guy named Greg Snow. And I remember that being such like a special night for him. Actually, L1 NK shot a whole documentary about it.
Yeah, it was dope.
Which is really cool. Last year, we did an episode about it. We had AVG, his feature at Two Lines, the end of season 3 here on The Time Is Right. And then this year was you.
Yeah.
How did you guys kind of like, where did that come from, that decision? What was the hope there of ending the year with one of you
I
guys?
feel like it's just easier to get someone from the crew than anyone else.
I was gonna say, like many things in
Saves you money.
like many things in the Two Lines universe, it's never a like. We have very few unilateral decisions that see outward like more than 6 months to a year in advance. So there could have been no way to make this plan when we gave Greg the feature first, because I wasn't really doing poetry at the time. I think, with doing it for Greg, it was like it was really to honor him because of how much work he's put in to the platform. Like Greg, if Two Lines is the consistent open mic, Greg is Mr. Consistent. Yep. In terms of, like whatever he's been going through, even like in terms of not performing for certain lengths of time at other open mics, he was still coming here month after month and doing a heck of a job hosting.
Yep. Absolutely.
And building relationships. He's been so huge in building relationships with people as just this very welcoming, earnest host that just really wants to put on a good poetry show. And so that was, I think, if I could recall, that was really the
beginning.
The beginning was like, we need to do this. Like, Greg should be the feature at this show. And that was just, I think that just went so well and it felt so right that by the time we got a year later, it felt like a no-brainer to do AVG.
Yeah.
And then, like, on the tail end of AVG's, or I think right around the time AVG did his feature, and my timing might be messed up, but I don't know, that could have been when I did the Tides of Time for the first time at the open mic, the Creatives open mic.
Makes sense, yeah.
So then there was like, obviously there was joking around like, oh, Jake, you're next, right? But it wasn't like I exactly anticipated it until I started taking poetry more and more seriously. And then I would say probably around like March or April of last year, it was like, all right, for sure, we'll do this. So next has to be Simone. So if you're listening to this, Simone, you have to start working on your set right now.
Listen, I already asked her to be a right poet.
Yeah.
She promised she's going to pray about it.
She's got to start coming out to the open mics and getting reps with us because
100%.
She's less than
amazing.
a year to get ready for her feature.
Yeah, that's crazy to put that much pressure on her. Now, from your end, you knew that you were doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Now, what I thought was really cool about it is, I mean, I've been at most of the times you performed over the last year and a half, right? Because we typically do things together, or you're doing a gig that's kind of booked through Ripe. So I'm there to kind of like make sure that those things go well. So I'd heard all of your work up until this featured set. And, like 4, 5, 6 really good, strong pieces that you've done over the years, each of those multiple times in totally different environments where I was the only repeat customer, right? I was the only person who heard it more than once. I probably heard it 5 times, but nobody else did. But coming into the set, I didn't even realize that I wasn't going to hear any of those poems at the featured set. So the preparation side, because we'll get into the open mic and who else performed leading up to you, and then your actual set. But I just want to hear it from the preparation side. You weren't just running old poems, you were writing. Mm-hmm. What made you want to do that from a preparation standpoint?
I think I have to completely attribute it to the time that you and me and some of the other people from Ripe met with Brandon Leak. Jarrett was there.
It's the quietest I'd ever seen Jake.
Brandon Leak, for those who don't know, is a poet who won America's Got Talent through his poetry. So like the opportunity to speak to him is like, you know, I don't know if you're in tech, it's like talking to Bill Gates. Was super inspiring. I was just listening to everything that he had to say, and what he was saying specifically about doing sets. When you're doing a feature set, he really had this pretty strong critique built up against like just taking a feature and then going and doing the feature as if you're doing just your greatest hits or whatever. And you're really missing an opportunity to create a set for a night, for a time, like, and to have something that is built and cohesive, and you can use the opportunity to relay a story and a message, rather than just being like, here's the best poems I have.
Yep.
I'm going to be up here 15 minutes doing the ones that I'm positive are really good.
Yep. That's what I do. That's what I do. Shout out to Brandon Leak for
I think it plays in
having a better
styles.
style. Yeah, I mean, I'm just not outside enough, guys, to be writing all new sets. But I was really impressed by that. And we'll get into that. From your perspective, Devyn, I would just love to hear, like, when he's preparing for the Two Lines feature, maybe the weeks leading up or months leading up, what did you see in Jake, like, in that time? Did you say excitement, joy, anxiety, fear? Like, what did you get to see behind the curtain that nobody else did?
I feel like it was just mostly excitement and a lot of intentionality. Like Jake, when he writes poetry, he doesn't just pick something and write about it. Something has to grip him up, is how he likes to put it. Something has to grip him up, and then he has to go into it in that way. And I don't know, he didn't want to do any that he had done before, which I was kind of sad about because I really like some of them. But I think that obviously it worked out really well.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to hear all new stuff. But I was stressed because I feel like he didn't start practicing till like the week of or like the week before. And then he got super sick, and he was sick the night of the feature. And I think I was more nervous than he was, because I knew that if he did mess up that he'd beat himself up about it. But I was like, you've been literally sick and dying. Like, you're not. I don't know. It was stressful for me. But I was really excited, and I knew that he would do well. So.
Amen. No, I think that's awesome. And I'm sorry that his lack of preparation led to your stress.
Just kidding.
Okay, I want to say, it wasn't a lack of preparation. It's just like, I guess, the way that I prepared for it. So it was like when we talked to Brandon Leak in that last March, and then so I kind of had an idea for how I would want to do a set, and then I kind of did a set at the Rotunda in like at the end of April, but it was a set of
Saye.
Yeah, shout out to Saye and Alexa. But that was a set of pieces that I had already written, but I kind of wanted to put those together. It was like a smaller version, but that was like still partially me preparing for the set in December of like, how would I do multiple poems together? How do I set the stage? How do I tie them together narratively? How do I make it feel like a cohesive flow? And then I wrote the first piece for the set in July. That was waiting poetry.
Yep.
And then I wrote what was the ultimate piece in the same month, but I didn't realize that it was going to be. And then I wrote The Burning Bush also in July. So 3 of the 4 pieces were written in July. And The Burning Bush I had been performing it for some time. That was the only one that wasn't brand new. And then the last piece I wrote was the love piece, which I wrote the week before the set. But I hadn't picked I hadn't put the set together until I wrote the love piece, because that was the one that brought all 4 of them together. So I would say the week on that the Monday before the feature, I had 1 of the 4 poems memorized.
Right.
So that's what was stressful. But I had like,
you had them written, just not from memory.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what
You didn't want to write a poem the day of? You didn't want to finish it that day?
Yo, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I think I'm
Greg,
going to do a poem
we love
about
you.
anxiety.
Greg, we love you. Greg, we love you. Before we get into the actual, I mean, we're already talking about the feature a little bit, but just because of the flow of the night, I think it would be nice to talk about, number one, the support that night was insane. Yeah. Like the amount of people that came out. And I think what's really special in the Two Lines kind of audience is when a feature really cares about their feature, you have the Two Lines audience, and then you have that poets audience kind of coalescing to where it's like a packed room wall to wall, because Two Lines is already going to pull the poets and the fans of that poetry that happens here month over month. But then the poet brings in these new people that are like getting exposed to the poetry community for the first time, which just makes for a very lit experience because people are like, I didn't even know this existed.
Because then Nick Austin goes and rips a poem, and then someone's mom's like,
what? I've never heard anybody like, so it's just like one of those things that was really special. Like, shout out to Rob Mitchell, his mom and dad were here, which we've gotten connected to them in some pretty significant ways since then. But I think that that's always a really fun thing about Two Lines when the feature cares. Now, when the feature doesn't care, or when the feature's from out of town and nobody knows them, right? And they don't necessarily have that draw to see them. It's just the Two Lines audience, which is still good, but I think it's really special whenever it's like that energy is there with like a whole bunch of new people, and people are excited that there's new people, and it was just kind of lit. So the support was crazy. Anybody that just came like for you that you were like, man, that meant a lot to have them in the room.
oh, I mean, yeah, I think probably 15 people came for me that had never been to Two Lines, and a couple of them I hadn't seen in a long time. That was just really very cool. I felt very blessed by that. Obviously special shout out to my mom and dad. They travel well. They've been to almost every show. Yeah, dude, they're awesome, man. I love that they're retired and they're just like, yeah, we're gonna rock out.
Like we're coming to see you perform, Jake.
My brother and sister-in-law came, and just a lot, like all of my close friends were here, and that was really cool.
That was beautiful. I thought that was really special. The other thing that happened this particular night, December 12th, 2025, is that the open mic list was nuts. Yeah. And I think the Two Lines open mic is always great, but there's always like some first time people and newbies, and like that's cool. But it felt like after the intermission component, it was like, it almost felt like you picked the next six.
So I didn't put you guys in order.
Okay.
But it was like, I was like, yeah, Scott should do a poem. AVG should do a poem. Greg should do a poem. Everybody do a poem.
You get a poem. You get a poem.
Yeah. But so I didn't pick the order, but it didn't matter. I did. The majority of people asked me which poem did they want, or did I want them to do.
Yes.
And do your worst one. It makes me look better.
Yeah. AVG's the only one that didn't ask me, and he did the poem that I would have asked for anyway. The bar was closed. So
shout out to AVG. Yeah. But yeah, the list in the first half was amazing. I remember just Nick Austin always is kind of like a standout, because he is, in my view, like a top 2 spoken word artist in the city of Philadelphia right now.
Yeah. 100%.
And I've been saying that for a few years now, but he's gotten better and better. And a big part of that is like the No Filter Slam team that he's a part of with AVG, writing competitively and kind of getting out there on a national scale to a whole different level. He's amazing. So every time he touches the mic, that's crazy. But then it felt like the second half, it was like these, I don't know, it felt like you put it together. And, it was myself, Greg did a poem, AVG did one. Who else was in that like leading up to you? I remember T Sleeveless was right before you.
Yeah. Did Andrea do a poem?
I think Andrea,
Andrea and Servant both did.
Yeah.
What did Andrea do? She did something new, did she? Oh yeah, that
charm.
was crazy.
Yeah.
That was the John,
The
with
warrior John.
Yeah. So Andrea went and
Graham did a
Servant
song.
went. Graham did a song. Yeah, shout out Andrea and Servant. They took a long drive to get here, and then
Few hours, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just the support. Oh my goodness, it's like trying to re-put the room back together of like how many people were there, and I just forgot about the last poet of the night,
T.
who's my favorite poet of all time.
Yeah, T Sleeveless.
T Sleeveless. I was so happy that he came in. Like he was, I think, like, there's a lot of poets that I could credit to, like, who I think are really good at what they do and have inspired me in different ways. But T Sleeveless was the first one that I saw him do his thing, and I was like, I kind of want to be a poet. I was like, this dude is so cold, man. So.
Yeah, we have such a deep history with T Sleeveless. Like even going back to the night that you would have seen him for the first time, and at Miss Seeley's Blues in Jersey, and I said to him the first time I saw him perform, which was like off a phone shaking, fearful. Mm-hmm. I was like, you literally have what it takes to do this full time. Yeah. And it was the first time that he really ever done it. But I was just like, your pen like is unbelievable, like literally unbelievable, otherworldly, kind of like one of one. I was like, if you can learn how to memorize poems and you can learn how to perform these poems and embody them, like the world is your oyster, young man. You know, and he's been one of the best to do it. He's kind of been like in and out hiatus, actually in a healthy way for him, but
because he's back in school. And
back in school. So, but he came, and that was like one of his first pop outs. He's got another show in Philly, down the line. But that was one of the first times he had actually been back on a poetry scene, probably since the last time we talked about T Sleeveless a couple seasons ago.
When he was on the August showcase 2 years ago. Yeah.
In season 2. So shout out to T Sleeveless for being there. He killed it. And it was fun to hear him do a poem that is really heavy, but not from a heavy place. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Andrea always kills it. Yeah. One of the best to do it. And yeah, our team is obviously great as well. All the right poets did a great job. So, and then shout out to Graham.
Yeah.
Doing this song.
Abdicate.
Abdicate.
Dude, I love Graham so much, man. He's been a true inspiration to me as just like as an artist and as a man as well. Just the way he carries himself. I love the way he writes too. Like he writes kind of like a poet in a lot of ways. Like
it's a storyteller.
Yeah, storyteller. Then he gets abstract at certain moments that you kind of lose the plot unless you're listening to the whole song. It's like anyway, I just love Graham. That now that it's fully in my recollection, the second half of that show, it was so good that by the time I went up there, I really didn't care how my set went. That's how good. And I said that on the mic.
You did.
I was like by the time I got to the mic, I was like, this has already been like the best 2-line show of the year, maybe excluding like Andrea's show was crazy as well. I think that would probably be like the other one that's up there because she packed the house out too. And
the truth had it.
Oh yeah,
amazing.
The truth too.
She's so good.
Red Lion, and I mean,
but Red Lion didn't perform this year.
He was on the like feature event that you did. He was out. He was on the showcase. That's what it is.
He was here.
What, in August?
Yeah,
because he performed at Creatives.
He performed here. I'm thinking of him performing at Deeks, but he performed here too.
Yes.
Yeah, he's performed at least once or twice
He's
here.
posted 100 videos of him.
I took video of him doing
at
it.
Top Mob Savage Studios. You just don't have social media.
Right. No, Red was definitely here. I remember.
Yeah,
Red was definitely here on this
food
futon.
Yeah, but it's not even to compare. It was just an amazing night, and I think it was a really fun moment to get to that point. All the excitement, the joy, the energy in the room from all of these poems leading up to you, and Graham's song. And Graham, we're talking about is Graham Allen from Wind and Sail. Look up Wind and Sail.
Yeah, look
Spotify.
up Wind and Sail on Spotify.
Make sure you check them out. They're ripe artists as well. But
Come for a house show.
Yeah, they're looking for house shows if you want to reach out to them. So get in contact with me and I can get you in contact with them. But yeah, so that whole set leads into you. You walk up on stage. it was kind of a fun little moment at the stage where you got to like dap everybody up. It's like,
yeah,
like you were like, I don't know what that was, but I love it.
Let's talk about it. I don't know who
idea.
It had to be Greg.
It was Greg.
Greg pulled up like, I don't know, was it you, AVG, the whole Two Lines team,
The whole Two Lines team and
plus
me.
Scott.
Yes.
Greg pulled them all up to the front of the room, and they like.
We all said like, Jake, Doggett,
right, yeah.
together.
It was like, you know, when you hit a home run in baseball and the whole team's waiting for you at home plate, and they all like jump me. I was like, yeah, this is a little bit too much.
He hadn't even hit the home run yet.
Right, yeah,
calm down.
He hasn't even done a poem yet. Maybe this is going to be terrible.
This is going to look terrible.
Yeah, it was really special though, and you did not bomb at all.
No.
Yeah, your set was amazing. Walk us through you mentioned earlier when you were talking about the process of writing in July with the Burning Bush poem, like in the love poem, but just walk us through like the order of those four. But before you give the order, give the doors thing, because you framed it around this word of doors. Like, explain what I'm saying there, because I don't want to speak for you around it.
So that was part of the preparation for the set, was that I wanted the set to have a title, and I wanted the title to be the thing that brings the pieces together, right? Because when you're writing pieces at different times and different places in life, you know, they might not obviously go together. But yeah, I was actually going back and forth a lot. It was like a weird train of thought that I had where it's like all of these are asking some type of question, and then somehow my brain spiraled into like questions are doors and doors are questions. And so I decided to frame the set and call it Doors, and then it was 4 pieces, and I just basically said that each piece was a door. The first piece, waiting poetry, I tried to set it up like we're in a waiting room, and we go through the door from the waiting room into a hallway that reveals another door where the next question is posted. You answer that question, you go through the door, you find another question, answer the last question, so on and so forth. So this idea that a question is an opening, whereas like a statement is something that is closed. You're putting a bracket around it, but if you're putting a question, you're opening. You're giving someone the opportunity to walk through a door and ask the question for themselves, experience the variety of answers that could be on the other side of the door, or whatever it may be. It's something that I try to do just in conversations in general with people, is like, rather than trying to always make statements, try to formulate questions, because that's more invitational than a statement is.
Yep. And I mean, you're following the model of a Messiah. They probably did that better than anybody, right? So much of Jesus's interactions with people on planet Earth was the art of asking questions, right? To lead people in directions that he wanted them to explore. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was framed really well, pun intended, door frame. But
LOL.
You know, yeah, it was cool to be like visualizing where you are in this building with these arbitrary spaces, but entering through these different questions. Talk us through those four poems though, that you did, kind of the order of like the journey you were trying to take people on. Like what was that first one, the waiting?
Yeah, so the waiting was a piece that I wrote in July, like I was saying. The piece came from a place of wanting to write, but being a little bit afraid to write rubbish, because I've been pretty much everything that I've written, I've performed, and people were like, "Good job." So then you do that like 4 times, and you're like, "All right." I'm a little bit nervous about what the next piece does, because the moment I write a piece and I do it, and someone's like, "Bad," then I don't know how that's going to affect my ego. And so the waiting poetry was just kind of dealing with that, and the whole poem ends up dealing with the question of inspiration itself. Yep. And it's like, what do I do in this time where I'm afraid? I'm afraid both to write, and I'm afraid to not be writing. And And what do I do in the meantime? And that's when all of the language around like what a waiter does while the patrons are considering what food they're going to order in a restaurant. The waiter has many things to do. And
they don't just stand there.
Right, yeah. In fact, waiting is barely a waiter's job. It's a line from the poem. Nice. But yeah, so that just was kind of for me to just like press out and be like, I'm just going to write this piece about
not knowing if I should write this
right,
piece.
Exactly. And I feel like it kind of...
Which is always some of the best poems come from that place.
Yeah. It kind of opened up like a lock on me a little bit to feel free to just like explore stuff and write like without thinking like, is this a piece that is going to make everyone be like, oh, that was so good? Or is like, does that matter? You know what I mean? Just battling the spirit of inspiration or whatever it might be and turning it back towards God and being like, all right, remember that these pieces are for your glorification and for the edification of people and not for anything else. And so that's where that piece came from. And then the burning bush, funny enough, came probably I wrote that within a week of writing waiting poetry. The burning bush is a funny one because I had gotten into the habit of talking at long lengths about Moses's life. Just in different settings in my life, and people were like, often they were like, wow, yeah, I didn't think about that before. But then like I think Scott has teased me more than anybody about the Moses stuff. I've definitely gone on like rants.
It was about oracles. Oh, that's what he's talking about. When he was trying to, if you go back to the oracles episodes in season 4 this season,
did I talk about Moses' oracles?
We teased you about it. No, it's because of like when he was trying to wait for everybody to get in there.
Yeah, when Scott set me up and left me with 30 seconds after intermission, sent me out there.
I did. I set him up too fast because I was just, people were like, we're late. So I was just trying to like make up time. But Jed gets up there and he's just like, yo, there's still people in the lobby. Like, I don't want to start my poem yet. So he just starts going into like this whole discourse about Moses. You did. It was fun. That's where the joke came from.
Yeah, Moses is one of my favorite people. I know because I've also done a Moses talk at a 2 lines that Greg let me host because he was out of town. Greg has never even heard it. In all fairness, there was like 10 people at 2 lines that night. So, but anyway, so I decided I'm going to stop ranting about Moses. I'm going to write a 2 minute and 30-second poem about this one moment at the burning bush.
Yeah.
And that really deals with the question of attention and also the identity of who God is. Yeah. Because those are 2 things really on display in the burning bush, which is that if we are not paying attention to who God is showing us that he is, we're never going to see God.
Yep.
And that's the imperative that's put on Moses in the story. And then I go into talking about this voice that says it is the I am, right? And I really try to play with that of like, what is he really saying? And what he's saying is he is the pattern of existence. He is the pattern of being itself. He does not subsist. He exists. He is God above all, El Shaddai Most High, right? And so I really love that poem because I love the burning bush and I love Moses. But within the set, it really worked towards framing out where everything was going. It's like it allowed me to set up a definition for who God is, which then led into the third poem, which is the one that I wrote most recently. I wrote this one like a week before.
The love poem?
Yeah, the love poem. I wrote it a week before the set. And so that asked the question, what is love? The answer prompted through the poem is that love is defined as sacrifice. And so that coupled well with the burning bush poem, because it's like, okay, God is the I am, and love is sacrifice. And these things are on display through the life of Jesus. And the problem that I had with the set was I didn't know how to close it because the love poem didn't feel like the closer. And that's where the fourth piece came from. I was really, I was just scrolling through my notes to see what else I had. And what I had was this poem. It was like an expose of the gospel that I had literally written.
as a response to me before.
Yeah, it was like one time Devyn asked me, she's like, we always talk about like the gospel. She's like, but what like really is the gospel? And I was like, you know what? I think we don't answer this question very well as a church sometimes.
And then he responded with a whole poem.
Sent the poem to her, and she was like, okay, can you just like not do a poem?
Can you have like a conversation with me, please?
Right. So anyway, because that didn't go very well when I sent it back to her, I thought, that must have sucked. But then I went back just because I was, this is the week of the feature set, and I'm like, I want something to tie this together. And I played the audio message that I had sent to her, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of fire. And then I went back through the poem, and I just cleaned it up a little bit because I had just like written it off real quick and fired it to her because I was hype in the moment. So it ended up like I think beautifully closing, like making this bookend where it's like you start in this waiting room, and I kind of set it up like we're waiting to be inspired, we're waiting to be told what to do, we're waiting to see the truth, and then boom, 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 the next 3 poems are like, what is God, what is love, what is the gospel? And it all hit exactly how I wanted to. I think in terms of all the feedback that I got back from people was like, you really set that up well. And I was like, thank God, because that was the main thing that I wanted, was for it to feel.
And you will like polish it down, like especially the in-between moments, the more you get to do it as a cohesive set. Like one of the things that we see often in like comedy, I think comedy is like a thing that everybody can just attach themselves to. Like you have these comedians on Netflix that do hour-long specials. That's not where they started, right? They started at open mic nights with 5 minutes, like 5 minutes of material, 5 minutes of material. Then eventually they got a 10-minute, a 15 or whatever, 20. And they built this fan base and this following to the point to they can do an hour-long special on YouTube, or if they have the demand, they'll get a contract from Netflix or whatever. But they all started with the 1 5-minute joke, or the one liner, the 1 minute kill Tony.
Yeah, I was about to say, if it's kill Tony, is 1 minute.
60 seconds.
1 minute for the rest of your life.
The rest of your life.
Before the West
That's all you
Hollywood
got. So, but I think with poetry, it's the same thing, right? Like you're graduating, not to say that you shouldn't go to open mics and do one poem. I'm not saying that. You should continue to be faithful, because at the end of the day, it's about ministry and witness for the Lord anyway. It's not about accolades, but I think there's something beautiful that like Jake Doggett now has a 20-minute set that could be performed in pretty much any setting. But I think the church should really buy in to like, we need to bring Jake in to come have this type of moment with our people, especially in today's day and age, because it fights up against some of the more dogmatic approaches to faith and allows people to, it's almost like an alpha heart. Like if you know the alpha course, that's like all about asking questions and engaging people right where they are. I think your set felt like that, like very invitational, no matter where somebody's at. So I felt like watching your set, it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And I just was like, in the same way that Black Sun a year before for AVG was like, AVG has a set that he in isolation can go anywhere and do that set. You now have doors. Like I felt the exact same thing for both of you a year apart. So that was kind of fun for me. Now, I will say we have to back up just a little bit and rewind to at the end of the third piece.
I was gonna say you thought your love piece, it just doesn't close it out right. But you know what could have closed out the whole night really well?
Oh my goodness, bro!
Okay, nobody understands this joke, but if you were in the room, you thought Jake was doing this love piece, talking about love being sacrifice, obviously pointing to Christ's sacrifice on the cross, but also like it was a poem directed towards love romantically. And Devyn, and you turned and
referenced her, bro.
You turned and did the poem to her while she's painting. And everybody, I'm telling you, everybody in the room thought
both
Jake.
Both of our parents thought that he was
yes,
both your parents were there.
Which is insane.
My wife is sitting in the back next to me. When this happened, she just goes,
oh my gosh.
That smack really hurt, by the way. It was so loud.
Yeah.
She hit me.
Jeez, oh man. I got out my phone. I like fumbled to get my phone out because I was so confident, like, oh my gosh, is anybody recording this?
And this was like the one show that everyone was stressing for Chigga to have his camera at. And I was like, oh my God, the pieces are coming together.
Oh my God.
I tell you,
That's so funny.
It felt like the most proposal moment I've ever experienced that wasn't a proposal.
Here, look, can I just say to the people listening that I knew Jake was not going to propose because I joked about it before, like a couple days before. And he was like, I would not propose to you in front of 2 lines. That's crazy. And I was like, okay. So I was set.
Yes,
no,
you
like
knew.
I knew he wasn't going to.
As audience members that didn't
Everyone
have this
else thought
conversation
so.
2 days before, we thought for sure you were
yeah.
proposing.
I will say, okay, let me back up. So the love poem was twofold. It was one was like I really wanted to get to the heart of a definition for love, right? Because that's really been a part of my heart for the last few years in my development in my faith in Jesus. And the sidebar is every time I say, "Oh, I'm about to write a new poem," Devyn's like, "Oh, for me?"
For me.
And I'm always like, yo, if I did write a love poem, it wouldn't sound like how you think it would sound, because I can't write like a
That's
lovey-dovey poem. Like it would have
Your
to
eyes are like the stars.
It's just not. It doesn't fit my flow or my cadence. My writing style, any of that. So
that piece of the poem, had she ever heard it before?
no. So I practiced it in front of her multiple times and then stopped
without
before
that.
the final section. And
Were you ever like, it's almost there. It just needs something at the end.
The first time I was like, what? And then he told me there's more, but he wasn't going to tell me what it was. Like it was a surprise or whatever.
Yeah.
So then in my head,
It was
I'm
a
like,
proposal that
There's
didn't
more.
happen.
no. So then in my head, I was like, oh, he's going to do something about love, but I thought it'd be like a little chunk, like 3 words about me, then 3 words about his mom, then 3 words about his dog. I didn't know the
You made it before the dog.
second half was gonna, and he said my whole government
whole second half was
name.
crazy. It was one stanza.
It
It
was
was
crazy.
one stanza.
It was good.
Oh yeah, it wasn't the whole second half. It felt
I actually,
like
I
it.
also, I didn't, I said her government name and used it as a play on words, because I said, Devyn, if I tell you I'm gonna love you for the rest of my days. Her last name is Dais. It's kind of a bar.
He's a genius.
Do you hear that line though? If I tell you I'm going to love you for the rest of my days.
But I did it
Right?
for the bar.
Guys, you can't tell me this is not. That's beyond proposal.
No.
That's a wedding vow.
I want to give a little
Jake's
bit
just
of.
going to do a poem for his wedding vow. Oh my God.
I want to give a little bit
Shout out
of
to
behind the
Preston
scenes
Jackie.
too, because so other than Devyn, the only people who had heard the full set and actually like the scope of like trying to frame it as doors and everything was Rob Mitchell, my roommate, and another friend of ours. I performed the whole set for the two of them as they ate dinner in our kitchen. And when I got to the end of the love poem, they both kind of looked at me like, you're not going to propose after that, are you? And I was like, no. And they were like, okay. And then
So they knew even not in the room.
and then Rob came to the show the next night,
Yeah.
and he pulls me aside right before my set. He's like, Jake, I just want to tell you.
she's going to think.
He was like, Mike is making me tell you this. He's like, this really sounds like you're going to propose. I don't know what you want to do with that information,
That's
but
so
for my
funny.
conscience, I had to tell you. I'm like, I can't change it now. Like, I got to roll with it.
You did. You
And now you try to brush everyone off. No, it didn't, bro. Bro, it didn't, though.
did. Yeah, I'm glad.
Everyone
I'm glad
thinks
you're
it.
admitting publicly on a recorded platform that everybody and their mamas said the same thing.
Literally
because
everyone.
it felt like the most proposal moment ever.
Did
which
your
would have been
parents, did
iconic.
either of your parents ask about it?
Both of
Yeah.
them, both sets.
They both,
Of
they
parents.
literally both thought that I was proposing in that moment.
My bet, Deja,
And I said to her mom, I was like, you don't think I would have sat down with you and
Right.
and Mr. Dais beforehand? And they were like, I don't know.
so crazy.
It was so funny.
It was crazy though, because I was painting and then I sat down, like I finished the painting and sat down right in time for that. I don't know if it was
That
that whole
moment.
poem or that part of the poem.
Yeah. Yeah, it was beautiful. Devyn was at the front of the stage while you performed because that's where she paints from, is like as a presenter for the night. And so it wasn't like you were speaking to Devyn somewhere in the room. You literally turned physically towards her. It was an amazing part of the set. The fact that you didn't propose, we were all like shell shocked. And then you did the last poem, like you said, which was like a presentation of the gospel.
I wonder if anyone is actually paying attention to that one after that.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone, like you said, is shell shocked, just sitting there like, did it happen or not?
It's like, my thing is, this is my only defense of the whole thing is I had made no indication that was the last, like that was going to be my last poem, the love poem.
Yeah.
Like, I had set it up like there's one more poem after this. I feel like
distracted.
I would have to be an idiot to make like to fully propose,
to fully
do a proposal and be like, all right, baby,
hold on,
let me do it.
Hold on, I got one more my set.
Just everybody quiet down. I got, like, that would just be absolutely insane.
Could have been throwing us off the set.
I don't know.
Right, that's true.
It was funny. The pieces were good, but it was really funny.
It was very funny.
I'll
The
give
set though was amazing.
It was
Like,
perfect.
yeah, it really was. It really
So
was.
good.
And I like I said, like there's always ways to like improve the system of it. And like, okay, I'm going to do this into this. I want to frame this way. I like, if you do it at a church someday, like I think you having like an image, not like a corny one, but of a door with the question behind you while you do each poem. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like movement visually through where you're taking people and imagery, I think could be really great. So yeah, it was just like one of those things other than the proposal moment that didn't happen, which was a letdown. The set
gosh.
itself was not a letdown at all.
I do not want to be proposed to at 2 lines.
Amen. Amen. And that's
Yeah,
good
2
for him to know
lines.
that.
I love 2 lines.
That's the thing. She had said that as well. That
Right.
we had agreed that would not be the time or place.
Amen.
So-
Don't. And I just said to you outside after that now you have to do something great because the bar has been set that it's going to be better than this. So you got to
Hey,
do something
I'm
great.
excited.
Yeah, it's going to be the best proposal ever. So you better do it right whenever that time comes. But I do want to just take a moment. Impact of the set. Like I was impacted by it personally. I'm sure everybody else in our community was. It was just beautiful to celebrate a friend that's exploded into the scene and taking on the mantle so well and like making such positive moves forward. Like it was fun to see you win. But I'm just curious if you saw any impact maybe on somebody in the room that came up to you and had a conversation, or, you know, even out at the diner after or the next week. Like, do any stories of impact from what you've experienced?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the follow up at Nifty 50s at the diner when we left here was really cool because I had me, everyone's good friend Apollos, and then 3 of my friends from 1 from high school and 2 from, you know, Sandbox, very small days. So, and the 5 of us just sitting at that table, just talking about the set, you know, 5 of us in different places with our relationships with God, with just what we're going through in life, just talking about the set, talking about how I came to the questions, turning the questions on each other and asking each other, like having really deep conversation about art, about God, about, you know, being a man, all of those things. I would say that was probably the nearest impact visible to me so far.
Yeah.
I'll say, oh yeah, another one is my my parents brought a +1 who's like a good friend of my dad's from like way back, like when he first moved to Philly, who's been a missionary in Afghanistan, who literally had to flee the country, and then he was like just chilling with my parents. And he came and he was like, I wasn't expecting that much, but like I was blown away. And so that was really encouraging to hear too. You know, that's just a dude that's like basically as close as you can get to a soldier for God, and that was really cool. So that was dope. But yeah, just being able to have those conversations afterwards, or even the conversation I had with T Sleeveless here in the hallway, like that's kind of what I want my poetry to be. It's like, this is so that we can have a conversation about a topic that I brought up in this. And you've heard my thoughts, so like, what are your thoughts on this? And that's just always my favorite part, is like the person that comes up to you that you like didn't expect to have certain thoughts about what you were saying.
Yep.
And then just being able to show love and speak life to each other in those moments is always really special, really impactful.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, like the thing that never gets talked about is how that only happens if you're excellent at it. Right? Those conversations where somebody feels inspired to go beyond, hey, great job, like in a cordial, kind way, like, yeah, man, that was dope. Like somebody's like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. And then they're saying that to open up the door for you to be like, what stood out to you?
Yeah.
Well, like what made a difference? What are you wrestling with now? And then you get to do like real ministry. But if you could love Jesus so much. And if your poetry's trash, you will never have the opportunity in a poetry space to do real impactful ministry from your poetry. Now, you can still do impactful ministry friend to friend, give somebody a hug, be there when somebody's suffering and, you know, going through something, or you being an exhorter and encourager to her. We have so many stories of nights where we didn't even perform somewhere, but we got to minister to people. But in the sense of like doing the art well creates the opportunity for conversation to happen. Where, you know, without that being done in excellence, those things probably don't take place the same way. So yeah, I as somebody who's like older and been around the block doing poetry for 15, 16 years now, right? Like that's a long time. Some kid is in high school, you know, as long as I've been doing poetry. There was a time where in Philadelphia, there was not many of us that really loved Jesus. They were really trying to live for him, that weren't using Jesus as a tool to get on, for sure, because you got off by using the name of Jesus in the poetry scene here 10, 15 years ago. We have multiplied like a bunch of rabbits into the poetry community of Philadelphia, where there's just a ton of us that really love the Lord. And because we love the Lord, we want to honor the Lord. And part of honoring the Lord is reflecting his level of creativity as image bearers, created in his image to create. So let's be excellent. And I'm just so proud of all of you guys, like you included in that, Andrea, Greg, AVG, you know, all these people that have, like, you're just doing it, you know? And I'm so deeply encouraged as an old head, as an OG, that we're not alone anymore. You know, you guys have created an entire culture around it. And that was my takeaway. Like, for you, the door's set. You can take this anywhere. But I left December 12th, 2025, 2 lines, being like, oh, that stuff I fasted and prayed for is here. You know? Like, just, like, really, really, really encouraged by God's goodness. And it's not because I fasted and prayed that it happened. I'm just saying, as somebody who really pushed for that and interceded for that and hoped for that and dreamed for that, to be around long enough to see it with my own eyes now, yeah, like it's just super encouraging. So I'm proud of you, proud of your whole team, proud of 2 lines. Yeah, I'm grateful for what God's doing through you guys.
Yeah, no, amen, man. I was just talking to one of my homies the other day about it. I was like, some of the best poets in Philadelphia, hands down, are spitting about Jesus right now. And it's affecting the culture. It's affecting the spaces. It's affecting people's content. Like, I've been hearing a lot milder content from a lot of people that used to be saying some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And in some cases, not even milder content, like actually now doing poems for Jesus. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's just so dope to see, because like I said, it's the the people that are doing it really well. And because of that, we're getting the respect for God that God should have had in this space in the first place. And I'm just happy to be here, man. It's lit.
That's how I feel too, man. Just happy to be here. I'm happy the Lord hasn't been like, shut up, sit down, leave. You know, I'm grateful that he continues to do this. And I'm excited for what's ahead. I've never been more excited for a season with Ripe Creatives than I am right now. Coming off of, these conversations about the last two events in December for Creatives and Two Lines, but stepping into, 2026 fully, there's just so much that I'm really hopeful for. Now, we have no idea how to fund it. And that's part of why, we end every podcast saying, hey, if you partner with us, thank you. And if you don't partner with us, please help us because we need your support. But that's kind of, that aside, the concern, fear, anxiety at times, lack of trust at times that I repent of and go to the Lord with, right? Because he's always provided. But my how are you going to do it, Lord? It'd be nice if you did it ahead of time this year, right? That aside, I'm so excited. It's not just poetry, right? I think if you line it up, rappers who can really rap, there are some people in our crew but just within Christendom, within the Christian faith, that out rap a lot of the people that rap in Philly right now.
Shout out Abel.
Shout out Q, right? Shout out Craig, all these people, Demir, Doc, in our crew, but also outside of our crew. There's a ton of artists here that are making waves, and because they're so healthy in their soul, they can be consistent over a long time in a way that a lot of other Philly rappers don't really last all that long because of the lifestyle that they get wrapped up into around that art form. Right. And then you clock the same thing with singer-songwriters. And I think we have some really fun stuff on the horizon with visual artistry with Ripe too. No Big Deal said, right, it's a renaissance, but the Christians got it. And I have been feeling that for a decade, but it's fun to actually see it in real time that the proof is in the pudding. It's really happening. Where some of the best artistry in the city is now being done with the Holy Spirit in partnership. And I'm just excited to see what happens. I'm really hopeful for the future of this whole thing. And I'm grateful you guys are a part of it.
Grateful to be a part of it. Grateful that Jarrett's a part of it.
I'm just here.
Jarrett's not just here. Jarrett's the best sound man in the entire world. And he also does live production, and he works with a bajillion artists himself doing crazy things. So listen, if you're here, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. I hope you got something out of this conversation. I hope that you will look up Jake Doggett and not be able to find him anywhere but the right
on the right website.
The Ripe Creatives website.
And YouTube channel.
Yeah. That's where you can find his work.
Tag Two Lines and everything for him.
Yes.
Shout out you guys.
Look up Two Lines Philly.
Yeah, Jake
look
at
up
some
Devyn
point
Dais art.
needs to have a social media presence. But right now he's not doing that. The Lord will work on him. But you can find him through our website. You can find him through me. If you want to hear more about doors, or you want to bring Jake out to something you are doing, get in contact with me and I can get you in contact with him to make that happen.
Just talk about more than doors because he's also in construction, so he might be thinking that he's installing a door for you.
Yeah, that's true. I was wondering what you were laughing about. He can do that too. He's a contractor, so hit him up for that kind of stuff. Devyn as well, visual artist. We had Devyn on this episode a few seasons ago about your gallery. We did a creatives gallery with you. Devyn is working on something with us that we're not going to put out there publicly yet, but it's coming at the end of the year with Ripe Creatives overall. So a lot of good things on the horizon. Look up Top Mop Productions if you need production, you need sound. You have a cousin who's getting married and they want to have a band, but they don't know where to get speakers. Call this guy, right? He does all the things. Anything dealing with audio engineering, live or in studio, call him. He'll make it happen. And if you want to sow into ministry, through the arts in the city of Philadelphia and around the region. I think what God is doing through this ministry is really worth sowing into. We'd highly encourage you to jump on our website, look at our mission, vision, and values, vet us, right? See if what we're talking about is really the truth, and then partner with us.
It's not just us who say it. Everyone says that we're the best to do it in the area. I'm just saying. Anytime someone has us out, most consistent. We have an award saying that.
Yeah, that's probably best. I don't know, but consistent. By God's grace, I think that's who we are. We're doing the same thing in the same direction for a long time, and we're just believing on the Lord to provide for it in supernatural ways.
We're stubborn, if anything.
Yeah. We just don't give up.
Hard
guys.
to kill. That's
We're just
resilient.
Like roaches.
Yeah, we roaches.
We're Philly roaches.
We are Philly roaches for the gospel through the arts.
Sure are hard to get
Check
rid
us
of.
out. This thing's off the rails. We love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, stay right.
Boy, that's it. Yeah, I'm done with the games. I thought this was
You can learn more about Ripe Creatives and support our ministry by visiting our website, ripecreatives.com. To never miss a future episode, you can join our community text line by texting Time is Ripe to 215-273-3540. Time is Ripe is produced, recorded, edited, and released by Top Mop Productions. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
living my purpose. Know that I'm the best to do it when I'm living the service. Once you see light, you understand that sin is whack. Be aware, wolves plotting on the next attack. Armor of God, give me the word. I'm always strapped. My brother's able, never question if I got his back.